After you conduct your assessments with Star Rating for Schools, it is important to show your results in a clear and propositive way. It is recommended that you develop a consolidated report with the main findings and suggestions, and you can also show your results in other creative ways to share the results with the community. You can include in your report the description of the location assessed, the current star rating, the proposed countermeasures, and the potential improvement in the star ratings. Add many images and pictures. If you have completed your pre- and post-intervention assessments, include also the star ratings before and after the upgrades are implemented. With the results in hand, it is time to discuss with road authorities and other partners and advocate for the road improvements to be implemented. Make sure to address in your discussions speed management, pedestrian facilities, and traffic calming measures. You don't have to be an expert in these solutions, but you have to understand that these are life-saving solutions. There are plenty of good examples and cases to get inspired by. On Moodle and in Star Rating for Schools page, you can find links to recognized publications and references to help guide the interventions that should be implemented as part of your project to design safe infrastructure. You don't have to be an expert in engineering, but use as a guide for your discussions the importance of addressing the issues from an evidence-based perspective. When the interventions are implemented, it is time to celebrate the results, share the findings from the project, and gain the support of the community. You can plan a formal launch, a ribbon-cutting ceremony, press activities. Make sure to capture pictures and videos, testimonials of the impacted communities, and commitments from the decision makers. Last but not least, it is time to build up on the project and scale it up. Now you should plan the next steps for a consolidated school assessment program to benefit many other communities too. If you started with a pilot of a few schools, you can now use these results to encourage expanding the initiative, get the commitment of the road authorities and other decision makers, and advance on policy discussions too. Our partners at AIP Foundation in Vietnam have a very interesting case to share.
Hello, and thank you for taking the time to learn more about the Safe School Zone Guide program currently implemented in Vietnam by the non-profit AIP Foundation with the support from FIF Foundation. First, let's introduce the non-profit organization AIP Foundation, which was created almost 25 years ago with a road safety focused mission, and has now transitions beyond with the purpose to provide safe and sustainable mobility for all. Over the years, they worked in more than 30 countries with a holistic approach, mixing education, awareness, infrastructure modifications, safe equipment, and research, which impacts sectors related to 11 out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals, such as gender equality or clean air, to name a few. They are now focusing on Southeast Asia, especially Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Going back to Vietnam, this country is part of the LMIC for low and middle income countries. Vietnam, like many LMIC over the world, has seen its economic growth rapidly increase in the past 10 years. In this context, with the consequent rapid increase number of vehicles, motorbikes, and now cars, road traffic organizations have not been able to properly implement prioritized measures for vulnerable populations. Traffic safety study results in 2018 shows that the traffic accidents involving children still accounted for about 10% of the total traffic accidents. And another result, by 2021, the number of traffic accidents involving people under 18 accounted for more than 10% of the total accidents. So not being able to keep up with this type of growth had led to the lack of infrastructure to protect vulnerable road users. For example, before the Safe School Zone Guide program started, there was no national definition of what is a school zone in Vietnam. In fact, legal action from the government is very recent, with a national target to ensure traffic safety around schools, but that was defined only by targeting the school zone entry. And if you work in road safety and safe mobility, you know that the safety of students goes way past the school gates. Regarding road safety in Vietnam, the government is luckily very committed and engaged, with a defined goal to reduce traffic accidents by 5 to 10% every year, with the aim to strengthen road traffic order and safety, with a vision zero by 2050. In fact, the Ministry of Transport was handed over the global plan by AAP Foundation founder Greg Kraft during the signature of the partnership framework kicking off the Safe School Zone Guide program in 2021. Implementing the Safe School Zone Guide program was the result of a long-term relationship of AAP Foundation with the Vietnamese government, following another ongoing and successful program, Slow Zones, Safe Zones, implemented since 2018 in Pleiku City, located in the center of Vietnam, and this with partners such as Foundation Whatnot, GRSP, FIA, and IRAP. Briefly, this program is focusing on reducing speed limits around school zones. Thanks to highly encouraging evidence-based results of 2 pilot schools, the program eventually reached all the primary schools within the city of Pleiku, with a drastic increase in safety around school as rated by the Star Rating for School tool developed by IRAP. This led to many achievements that will not be all detailed here, but some of them are the nationwide legislation for speed limit adjustment in specific areas, or self-funding implementation of school zone modification in 56 additional schools in the province by the local government. If we go back to the Safe School Zone Guide, the main objective of this guide is to reduce traffic accident risk for students by enhancing skills and awareness of road issues and contributing to improving traffic safety conditions in school zones. And following the local government partners' approval of the first school zone definition in Pleiku, the national government began to develop this guide in collaboration with AIP Foundation. As already shared, the high commitment of both local and national governments is key to the success of a program and the success of AIP Foundation in Vietnam. The nonprofit has been building long-term relationships based on trust and collaboration. This is why the development of the draft guide was a participative process, involving consultation of all stakeholders, including partners but also local representatives of Vietnam provinces. Practically, the Safe School Zone Guide draft includes definition with technical instruction, international examples, safety parameters such as school zone planning including connection to public transport, traffic safety inside and outside the school, and signalétique, as well as basic knowledge for students, of course. And the first achievement for this guide was its national endorsement as a resource for now in 2022, and this first draft being shared with 63 provinces in Vietnam by the government as an example. Since then, AIP Foundation has been implementing this draft guide in schools in 3 locations in the north, center, and south of Vietnam with 3 different methodologies. And among those assessing methodology is the Star Rating for School system that had been introduced earlier. This rating tool, developed by IRAP and that AIP Foundation is extensively using in several programs, has been recognized by the Vietnamese government as you can see here on some screenshots of the draft guide, they are mentioned in the guide itself. To conclude on the journey of the Safe School Zone Guide program, which is not over, let us share with you some challenges and as well as ongoing steps and next step for the program. One big challenge that many nonprofits can undergo is a restructuration of the government. In 2022, the Department of Traffic Safety, technical partner for the guide development, was restructured and planned to be divided in 2 entities. Thanks to the long-term relationship between the government and AIP Foundation, a strategic partner within the Ministry of Transport stayed highly committed, and AIP Foundation could then advance a legal decision related to the guide and avoid any delay for the program related to the restructuration. Since then, as shared, this guide was piloted at 3 school locations representing 3 geographic regions in Vietnam from October to December 2022. Now we know that like the pilot study was successful, with results indicating that road safety conditions in all schools improved. Schools were upgraded from 1 or 2 stars before intervention to 4 or 5 stars after intervention, out of 5 stars being the safest for the star rating for school. So based on those encouraging results of the pilot study, the guide will be scaled up to build evidence base to support legislation to establish a legal school zone definition in Vietnam. Then this would require all school zone developments to meet a minimum safety standard aligned with the parameters of the state school zone guide. Thanks a lot for listening, and do not hesitate to contact IRAP, the Star Rating for School team, or AIP Foundation if you wish further information. Thank you.